what's happening in
please use the
Turkey.
facts here
Look
now.
at what's happening in Turkey. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that American policy circles try to push.
But you claim
right?
that Arabs are already...
No, I know exactly whom you're working for, Ryan, and I know exactly what you're doing. It's not going to fly.
I wish I was getting a check.
This is giving voices in my head. I'm sorry. Like, that sounds crazy.
Can I finally comment?
Yo, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's talk about it, man. Let's go.
Yeah. Look, I am for the two-state solution, except the more I think about it and the more I look at colonialism, which is what I believe Israel's been doing since the 40s, it typically doesn't end up well when you do a two-state solution. It typically is a one-state. What M was just saying that, oh, they don't deserve the same rights. What about the blacks in South Africa? Did they deserve the same rights to take over a country that was?
I didn't say
that was one state.
I said they do not.
One second, George, one second, because you guys keep doing this shit, right? Hold on, George.
Why would I let you finish when you're putting words in my own mouth? Why insist on bringing South Africa into this? It has nothing to do with South Africa.
Yes, it does.
Okay, here's the deal, folks. I just said one mic, so I don't want to have to throw you guys down. Let me just say this right here, George. First and foremost, South Africa, it was a single country, okay, and there were already people there. There were citizens, and they were disenfranchised. Let's start there, okay, because you guys always do that race shit, okay. Equate this, and let me just say what happened in America. Americans, okay, blacks in America wasn't fucking bombing the Capitol. Okay, didn't hold up in Atlanta, and say we're gonna take over all of fucking America. So look, because I'm gonna tell you something, it is fucking disingenuous when you guys try to equate the struggles of African Americans with the struggle of terrorists, okay, and saying that we, because you guys make us look like terrorists, okay, that was going on killing people, raping and robbing, killing and stealing and just robbing, looting and cutting people's heads off and all this other shit in the name of some kind of fucking religion.
I didn't mention African Americans. I mentioned South Africa. There's a big difference. Or you can mention Ireland. If it's easier for you, I'll talk about Ireland. Ireland had bombs as well. They did the same shit. They were considered terrorists. They killed innocent people. They did the same thing, and it wound up becoming part of the UK, right? So although I'm for a two-state solution because I don't see a one state working, I don't have an example where it didn't become a one state.
Ireland just gave an example where it didn't become a one state. You don't even know what you're saying, dude. Ireland is two separate countries.
Ireland is the Republic of Ireland, bro. Like
Northern Ireland.
No, there's Northern Ireland.
States.
South Africa is exactly
part of the UK.
You would have been better off saying Germany, and then I would have still busted you on that. But that's
part of the UK. What are you talking about?
Guys, he said it's part of the UK. He didn't say it's one country.
Yeah, but I mean, guys, like Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland are two different places, bro. But it's all good, Joe. Just go ahead, please, guys.
Northern Ireland versus UK versus.
Calm down for a second, brother. I'm trying to help you out, guys. Let's get one mic on Joe. Nobody interrupt. Let him finish. And then we can go to another side. All right, Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, yes, it became part of who they were fighting against. That's what I'm saying, right? That's exactly what I'm saying. They were also accused of the same thing. So even though I believe two-state solution would work, the more I look at it, the one state is typically what works out better. That's all.
The fight was between the Republican Catholics and you don't even know what you're saying.
I can speak for South Africans.
You know what I'm saying.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I can speak for South Africans.
Jump in.
Yeah, so
it's really strange listening to this because there's just a basic lack of knowledge from a lot of these guys. I think you're the one who said. I think I'm going to have to put on.
You said you don't put words in people's mouth.
I think I'm going to have to
put words in Ryan's mouth.
Right. Okay, thanks, Joe.
Yehuda, what's your solution?
You know what?
What's your solution?
Okay, but I'll give you my idea for a solution, and then what I'm going to do, maybe I'll put on Palestinian hat, and I'll be a Palestinian because you guys.
Can I just take on what M said?
No, Habiba, you can't because I got the mic. So, Ryan, here's my solution. There has to be a change in culture and schooling education that's led by Palestinians, preferably the Palestinian Authority with help from whoever they ask for. And there has to be a de-radicalization in textbooks in Gaza and in parts of the Palestinian Authority. The Israelis have to work hand in glove with the Palestinian Authority, not with someone like Netanyahu. And the only decent thing, well, I don't want to say the only decent thing after a genocide is a political thing, but he won't be around. So there are going to be people who are dedicated, as Nelson and Jonathan said, Trump, everyone, Obama, everyone said Netanyahu is useless for peace. So someone else is going to get in the driver's seat. They're going to work together. They're going to do their best to say, okay, you know what, Israel, Don't be DICKs and build settlements. Give the Palestinians that hope that they're going to get that land. Go back to the Barak deal or the Olmert deal where they get 98% of the West Bank. There's going to be land transfers here and there. And support the Palestinians coming back into the West Bank, make it work out. Same with Gaza. Have two countries working side by side in their own lands with their own flags. You can't call for a one-state solution. I'm sorry, I'm not calling you a terrorist, Ryan, but the Palestinian Authority doesn't support a one-state solution. Hamas supports a one-state solution. That's usually Jewish free. So when you come up here and say one-state solution, the reason why Em and Jonathan and other people are going to call you out is because not even the friggin' legally, internationally recognized representatives of the Palestinian people, the Palestinian Authority, you might not like Mahmoud Abbas or Fatah, but they are the legal representatives of the Palestinian people. They committed in 94 to a two-state solution. They said, we're going to take the West Bank and Gaza. We're going to do it in incremental stages. And that process fell apart on their part as well as the Israeli part. What we need to do, if you want to help and if you give a crap about Palestinians, then you need to get together, put pressure on both sides to say, hey, take it seriously. Don't run out the clock. Stop using violence the institution of violence, intifadas, as a tool in which to bother Israel. Israel, don't use settlements as a tool to piss off the Palestinians. You got to be a lot more responsible. But at the end of the day, it comes down to education. If you looked at the people in Gaza that were cheering for Hamas, it's true. I don't like it. It's not a good situation. We need to change that reality on the ground. You have partners in peace for Israel. Don't drop that torch, because if you drop the torch, then something bad will happen. A two-state solution is the only solution. And if you continue to keep talking about one-state solution, first of all, it's only in this is a fantasy land, as Nelson was saying. There's no one-state solution. No one on either side who have any power are saying that. It's just people on the internet. All right, two-state solution, support it, encourage it, and stop talking nonsense on the internet. It doesn't help out. Thanks.
Well, for the record, you did call me a terrorist, but that's fine. It's
no, I said for
you
one
did
state
beforehand.
Solution.
No, but again, you can't call everyone who supports a one-state solution can't be a terrorist. You're painting with too wide of a brush.
Well, you can be.
No,
the implication.
Just because
please give you some facts.
Yehuda, Yehuda, for example, look, if you support, for example, the Republican Party and a school shooter supports the Republican Party, does that make you the equivalent of the school shooter?
The difference is the Republican Party doesn't support that. So
no, you're mixing it up.
No, you're mixing it up.
No, I'm giving you a completely different scenario that you decided to flip, but that's okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Real quick, you want me to be honest? I mean, I don't see the guy as a terrorist based off of what he said today, though, right? And this is probably the first time I've ever been in a room with him where I've actually heard his thoughts. And I mean, he didn't really say no terrorist shit to me.
No, the one-state solution. My point is the only people promoting a one-state solution are the terrorists.
But you realize that when you open up a conversation like that, you kill the conversation on start. Just because a certain group of people supports the one-state solution, you can't say that everyone does, because clearly I'm not, bro. I'm an American. I'm not even a fan. And for the record, I'm not even a fan.
Hold on, Nelson. I just want to say, Jonathan and Nelson, I sent you guys a video, but also M is right, because it's true, because you're saying that, Nelson, because of Ryan's method and his tone. And the fact of the matter is, Yehuda is actually correct as well, and so is M. This is part of their technique. They're appealing to an American audience, and it's his soft tone. But the fact of the matter is, what he is saying is, from the river to the sea, okay, Palestine will be free. What he's essentially saying is no more Israel. So
that's not what I'm saying. That's not what you're saying. That I'm not saying that. Nelson, I'm not saying a single Israeli has to leave. I didn't say that.
One second, bro. Let me respond to that.
Yeah. So I just want you to know, this is a tactic. This I'm the reasonable one. I sound reasonable. So this is, whereas I sort of come in here at guns blazing, because, well, I don't really care, right? I don't care. I don't have a point.
If you don't care, then why are you here?
No, I don't.
They also
so when Netanyahu is calling Arabs Amalek and slaves.
Nelson, I want to say something. Nelson, can I please finish? When I say I don't care, I mean, I'm not trying to convert Americans to my side, is what I mean.
I'm not trying to convert anyone either. I'm trying to have a
Hold on.
conversation.
Nelson, can I please finish speaking?
Let's let her land, guys. Let's let her land. Come on, man. Let's go.
So yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not here with an agenda like Ryan is with his handlers. That's what I mean. I'm done.
Well, first of all, I don't have a handler.
I would like to have a conversation, guys. How things work?
Doctor, goddammit, I'm not trying to get a surgery right now, man. Calm down, bro.
Can we stop
see how many hands
accusing each other, please?
Okay, appreciate you. So, quick response to Sphinx. Listen, I've seen some terrorist motherfuckers on Spaces. Okay, Ryan didn't sound like one today, and he definitely doesn't look like one. I mean, look at that picture, man. He looks like a goddamn teddy bear, bro. Now Yusuf on
he
the
looks
stage.
like a simp though.
Now Yusuf looks like a
Jonathan. You get no girls. That's why.
Yo, chill. I've been waiting to talk. You talking shit?
I just triggered his ass. Now he looks like a fucking terrorist. But I'm just joking. I'm just fucking with you. Yusuf is my guy. But that being said, I definitely want to go to. We got to go to some new speakers.
May I?
Let me go to Damien. One second, everybody. 1 second, please. Thank you. Let me go to Damien on a Clubhouse end. Now, just to, if you guys are just jumping in my space for the first time on Twitter, the reason why I have 2 profiles up is because I'm simulcasting with 2 platforms. So we got a whole other audience on Clubhouse, and they're itching to jump in. Damien, talk about it.
My boy Nelson, how you feeling tonight, man?
Feeling better than you. God damn it, hurry up.
All right, so I'll be quick, right? I told you I don't like to be too long-winded and shit, right? A terrorist, right? A terrorist in the Webster definition, right? Real baseline. If people don't speak English, we can use another dictionary. We could use the Espanol dictionary. I'm cool with that. It's the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially this is key, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims, right? So baseline, we can agree Hamas is a terrorist group, right? Right, that's a pretty known consensus, right? They enacted violence, they enacted terror, they flew from paragliders on civilians, right? That's the poignant part. So in that same breath, if the IDF hypothetically killed about 15,000 civilians unknown to them, who's Hamas, who's not, who's man, who's woman, like unknown to them, right? If they can't even figure that out, they're still trying to figure out who's Hamas, who's not, right? Even though in 2022, the defense budget was roughly about $23.4 billion. That's an estimate, right? That's a ballpark. Even though they can't find out amongst the 4,000 people who is Hamas and who isn't Hamas, they're still trying to make it seem like the war is like ongoing, right? When I just read the defense budget of 2022, America has sent over funds. That budget I just read for y'all has probably doubled since last year. It's insane to me that they can't find any real Hamas agents. All they can give us is shock top videos shot on handheld camcorders, right? And then they deliver this evidence to us. And then when people say, hey, this evidence looks a little choppy, looks a little edited, it looks a little funny, you're an anti-Semite. You're anti-Semitic. Israel has a right to defend itself. It's like, when did I say anything opposing any of that, right? We want facts and we want actual account of things. So if the IDF was to go out their way to terrorize and intimidate civilians, like bombing bakeries, like killing journalists, like killing UN officials, like on the ground, like UN workers, is that not a source of intimidation and harassment against the civilian population? Because I mean, if we're going to use the Webster dictionary, hey, we can use the French dictionary. I'm cool with that. Right? If we're using the American Webster Dictionary, it's saying that a group that is aiming for like a political goal, and in that political goal, they're committing acts of violence against civilians, they are a definite terrorist group. So how come the IDF isn't a terrorist group? I'll leave my mic there.
Yeah. Forrest Gump can yield, Forrest Gump can actually field a better argument than this.
I love that guy. Can I speak?
No,
oh my God.
It was my turn.
Mariah, respond to that, and I'll come to Habiba.
Okay, so the first thing I heard Syrian girl say that the Palestinian doesn't have a passport. So please open Google.
Maria speaking, Yehuda.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, Mariah, we can hear. We can hear you. Talk about it.
So she said that the Palestinian doesn't have a passport. So we have a lot of people in the audience. Please just Google Palestinian passport and you will see that they're able to travel to 37 countries without visa. And of course, they need a visa like me. I'm an Israeli, and some of the countries that I want to go, I need a visa, right? So basically, they are traveling. I meet them everywhere I go, and I'm telling them that I'm from Israel, and they say, I'm from Bethlehem, I'm from Shechem, I'm from Jenin. So, Palestinian girl, you don't know anything about Palestinian people, honey, and this is why you are not allowed to talk about.
I'm allowed to talk. We're not allowed to talk.
No, if you want to talk right, okay? Because you are coming here and saying
Look up the
lies.
word stateless.
Why did you say that he doesn't have a passport? I don't get it. And everybody
Look up the
believe
word
you.
stateless.
1 second, Sarah. 1 second. Let her get it out. Mariah, get it out.
Yes, she's coming to every step.
Calm down. Let me give everybody a tip real quick, right? When you come on these stages and you grab the microphone after raising your hand for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, trying to jump in, and you finally get it, the biggest tip I can give you is do not call on any other speaker that's on the stage. Don't ask them a fucking question. Don't throw subliminals. Don't do any of that shit, because they're going to interrupt your ass and probably reduce your mic time. Okay? So just giving everybody a heads up real quick. That's a quick pro tip.
Okay.
Right?
That was the first thing. The second thing is it's about how the war started and why. So the answer is very simple. And I said it from the beginning of the war, but no one believed me. And now everybody knows that it's because of the process, the peace process between Israel and Saudi Arabia. The Palestinians couldn't see the beautiful Abraham Accord that we create since 2020 with the United Arab Emirates, with Bahrain, with Morocco. Yeah, you can laugh. And the next state was Saudi Arabia. And I have a lot of friends from there. And they were waiting for peace agreement between Israel and Saudi. And this is why the Palestinians did whatever they did on October 7.
Appreciate you. Let's go to Habiba. Habiba.
Nelson, may I respond to the gentleman on Clubhouse?
I haven't spoken yet, It's my turn.
I got you after Habiba. Habiba, let's talk about it.
Okay, so we're talking about support among Palestinians for armed resistance and political violence. And there are statistics and there are surveys about this. So people don't need to talk, they can just look at the facts. So at the moment, there is support for armed resistance, but in times of peace, like in 1996, support for peaceful resolution went up to 80%. So when there's peace on the table, Palestinians support it. So that's why when the PLO renounced violence and people had hope in a peaceful process, they moved towards it. When you get Israeli state terrorism and repression, the response to it is that people want to defend themselves. That's the nature of it. So then we're going to talk about what Em was saying about repression, because he's advocating that over 65,000 political prisoners, the Ikhwan, the Muslim Brotherhood, were locked up in Egypt. That's his solution. Anyone who disagrees with you, lock them up, right? Violent or not, lock them up. So that's what he wants to do with any dissident. Now, the problem with that is you can't do that in Palestine. You can't lock up every single person who resists, because again, and it's not even resist, it's ordinary civilians, children. The number of people that they're rounding up on a daily basis is of epidemic proportions. It's huge. When you get to something like South Africa, and I can speak to this, my uncle was imprisoned with Mandela for 13 years. People called him a terrorist too. Yes, it does map to Palestine. Whether or not Palestinians for themselves choose a one-state or a two-state solution, that is for them to decide. But the reason it maps and it is contiguous is that the people who called against one state in South Africa were ethno-supremacists. They only believed in a whites for white-only South Africa. They wanted to suppress over 90% of Palestinians. That is the same situation today. People do not want to accord non-Jewish people any rights on the land, which is why they don't, A, even want to cede to a Palestinian state, or B, have a one state. So whichever the answer is, they're not going to accept it unless they crush, remove, displace, and get rid of every Palestinian there. So the people who are arguing against what we're arguing for are arguing against equality. They are arguing against freedom. They're arguing against political resolutions to problems. If a political situation is on the table, Palestinians will go for it. To demonize them all as terrorists and supporters of violence is bullshit. Finally, your point about Malcolm X. he did support political violence. And when he visited my father in the UK, who hosted him in the UK, they never renounced political violence ever, right? That was part of his strategy to win concessions for African Americans. And it's not the case that they were terrorists. It's the case that they believed in the defense of African Americans. That is all. And I rest.
Em, what are your thoughts, man? Let's go.
Jonathan and Nelson, thank you for this space.
Love you, Sphinx. Em, let's talk
Very
about
briefly. Yeah, Habiba, first of all, I do not endorse and I do not support imprisoning political opponents. In fact, I'm actually published against this. But I guess 5K monograph and 1K papers are too many to read, right? But yeah, what happened in Egypt specifically is that when the Muslim Brotherhood rose to power, they didn't threaten the security establishment only. They didn't threaten the army only. They didn't threaten the Christian minority only. They didn't threaten the liberal elites only. They threatened everyone. No freedom for the enemies of freedom. And I stand by that. That's the first point. The second point, regarding what's happening in the Gaza Strip right now, the gentleman on Clubhouse and terrorism. A terrorist group or a non-state actor engages in terrorism to achieve political objectives, ultimately. When a state, a sovereign state, assembles its government and has a cabinet meeting, and they declare war against a non-state actor using their constitution or using their laws, and they start acting against that non-state actor, that terror group that launched an attack against their civilian population, they have every right to do so. And when they give warnings for several days, if not 2 weeks, and if they ask the people to evacuate the military area of operations day in and day out, and you still get civilians staying behind, you have to question one thing. What is making them staying behind? That's the whole thing that we've been saying for the last hour.
Okay,
When
I can answer
Hamas,
that.
hang on. When the Islamic Council or Al-Majma' al-Islami started in 1973 in Gaza, what they started on is an indoctrination program. After 60 years of indoctrination, that's exactly what you get. You get people who believe in that creed, you get people who support that terror organization, and you get people like Habiba said, who support violence to achieve political objectives. So when a regimental force is issuing an evacuation order or an evacuation request of an area of military operations, and the civilian population doesn't yield, that means that they support the actions of the terror group that is operating within a densely populated civilian area or civilian population center, a terror group that also integrates its terror infrastructure within that civilian population center, placing rocket launchers,
So you're
subterranean
missing one huge
infrastructure.
component, Am.
I'm not missing anything, Habiba.
You're
I
missing a
don't think
huge
so.
component.
So yeah, eventually there will be civilian casualties, and the civilian casualties will be huge because statistics, again, lies, damn lies, and statistics, right? Statistics tell us that in most conflicts, up to 90% of casualties are civilians. So within the laws of armed conflict, what's happening in Gaza right now is not genocide, is not ethnic cleansing, is not this. In fact, when
That's
people
not true.
use those terms, they
Absolutely
actually,
not true.
when people use those terms, Syrian girl, I mean, you're all for
The majority
Alawi
of
Shia minority.
people.
You're
I'm not a
all for
minority. I'm a
Alawi.
Sunni.
You're all for
I'm a
Alawi Shia
Sunni.
minority.
I'm a Sunni. I'm a
You're all
Sunni.
for
No, no,
Alawi
no.
Shia
You're wrong.
minority
I'll explain
massacring.
to you why you're wrong
Hang on, you're
afterwards.
interrupting me. You're
You finish.
interrupting me. Please, Syrian girl.
Let's
Right?
land.
Let's. Yeah, it's like the kettle calling the pot black. You're for a what?
Okay, so let's go
Shia.
with your measure then,
Oh
Am.
my God!
Let's go with your measure.
Two women trying to interrupt, and I'm trying to be a gentleman and not
I'm
going off
Sunni. I'm not
at you.
I
Alawi.
won't be a
And
gentleman.
yet
Shut
you
the
are
fuck.
supporting, a Shia Alawi minority genociding
Okay,
You're a
Am.
sectarian.
Why are you
500,000
bringing
Syrians,
religion
right?
into this,
Am, do
bro?
you believe that a
Hang on,
belligerent occupier should be resisted?
Please hang on. Within the laws of armed conflict, what the IDF is doing right now is not in violation with every single law of armed conflict. No matter how many nice words you use, no matter how many nights you come on here and say and repeat the exact same lies over and over again, it's not going to change anything for the specific reason that it is absolutely categorically false.
Okay.
That's the whole point. You're not
Okay.
even helping your own people. You're not helping Muslims. You're not helping Palestinians. You're not helping anyone. And in fact, when you continue using terms like genocide and ethnic cleansing, you're taking away from those crimes being committed in parts of the world where actual players are actually committing those crimes. And it only serves the people who are committing those crimes when you compare what's happening in Gaza to what they have been doing for years on end without
Okay.
without
So let's
without
put
condemning
back
what
to
they have been doing.
Face. Everybody can compare the conflicts over the last 10 years to the conflict that's
Are you
happening
for
now.
President Bashar
Please,
al-Assad to stay in power? Yes or no?
check out,
Are you for
he
President
talks about
Bashar al-Assad
numbers and
staying in power?
statistics.
Yes or no?
Why are you mixing up conflicts, bro?
Are you for President
wait,
Bashar?
I'm
Because
going to mix the
consistency.
conflict. She is.
She is.
All right, real quick,
Please,
guys. Real quick.
wait a second. Check out.
Real quick. Let's get one mic on Syrian, guys. Let it get it off, and then we'll keep it moving. Syrian. Let's talk about
guys,
it.
just have a look at this thing that I posted into the Jumbotron or whatever you guys call it. Statistically, he's talking about the majority of people that get killed in conflicts are civilians. Let's have a look at this conflict compared to other conflicts, because that's basically what he's doing, right? So in the last 30 days, 4,100 children have been killed in Gaza. This was before the 7,000 number that's now up there. Before that, in Syria, over 11 years, 12,000 children died. And remember, this is a country that was invaded by ISIS, Al Qaeda, and the United States, and Turkey, and Israel. In
This is not the
Afghanistan,
truth. This is not the truth, please.
8,000. Hang on, I'm sorry, I'm talking. In Afghanistan, 8,000 children died over 12 years. Okay, please have a look at the statistics.
I'm not comparing figures.
More
I am
Palestinian
focused on
children
consistency.
in the last
I'm
30
focused
days.
on consistency. Every single.
Hang on.
Oh my
Why
God.
does it?
You're
Why are you afraid
completely
of me talking?
inconsistent.
Why are you
Thank you, Habiba.
afraid of me talking? In the last 30
Get one
days,
mic on, brother. Come on.
in the last 30 days, more children have been killed in this conflict than in the last 7.5 years in Yemen, Ukraine, and Iraq. So, and in Iraq, we have 14 years there. So the Save the Children have said that more children have died in this conflict in the last 3 years than all the wars combined. So he's Mo coming in here thinking he's gonna whataboutism us out of the genocide that's happening, which, by the way, the UN has been making statements about the genocide, as Habiba will testify to. This is unlike any other conflict because, statistically speaking, almost like 99% of the people have been civilians that have been killed, and 50% have been children. This is not a war. This is a genocide, and the statistics prove it. So come here and whataboutism us some more.
Syrian girl, if you put your kids out on Front Street, they might get hit. Do you guys understand that notion that if you put your kids on Front Street, they might get hit? What I don't understand about this argument of genocide against the people is that you literally have Hamas not allowing people to move, not allowing people to free,
about?
and
This
then
is such
whining and crying about genocide. Who are how is this possible? Can somebody
You
please
have no
explain to me
clue,
the
my
insanity?
It is impossible because
This
it's
is
not true.
insane.
You're
If I run out
regurgitating
in
a
the
talking
middle of
point
the
you heard on a
street and I
tweet.
get hit by a car, and then I sit there and say a drunk driver hit me, what?
Are you just not paying attention to what's going on?
Are you completely clueless? You're so
Are you saying anywhere in Gaza is
you cannot literally put your kids in harm's way and then call foul on somebody else, and you keep doing that.
Is there? I mean, this is what I don't understand.
Meet out, TC. Meet out. Let me go to Habiba to respond to that. Let's go.
So first of all, this is a complete fallacy that anywhere in Gaza is safe. Even the IDF have said they're going to target the entire strip. There is nowhere for any Palestinian to go in Gaza, and they're also attacking the West Bank. When you say don't endanger Palestinians, it's not the Palestinians who are doing that, it's the Israelis, because they've been attacking throughout the south, and they've killed over 2,000 people in the south alone through strikes across indiscriminately through the south. Okay, so this is a complete fallacy that you're blaming on the Palestinians, and it's shocking. Secondly, if I take on what M said again, that he's not interested in freedom for people who don't accept freedom. Who gets to decide that? An autocrat like Sisi? That's exactly what happened. Put the power in the hands of autocrats and extremists, then you end up repressing an entire state. I'll tell you something. Israel does have a violent extremist problem, and it's among the Israelis. Over 30% support annexation. They support the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. If we're talking about who has to be de-radicalized, it's Israelis. It's the
This is
entire
not
Israeli
true.
society.
This
It's
is
the
not
government,
true.
and it's the
I'm
regime.
Israeli.
Literally the poll last week showed that there was widespread support for annexation. So and also, speaking of you being Israeli, do you even recognize that there is such a thing as a Palestinian? Because the other day you were saying that that settlers never shot or terrorized Palestinians. So that's the kind of ludicrousness that we're talking about when we're talking about people who make out that they're reasonable, but they're denying facts on the ground, and they're denying that there's terrorism among Israelis that is widespread and state supported.
Please
I
give me
yield.
number and exactly the story that you
So
are talking
apparently, okay,
about.
so you answer me.
Send me to my DM, because always you are coming here
Do
and
Israeli settlers kill Palestinians?
listen, you and other friends of you, you're coming here and telling stories that you want everybody to believe out of the context, and then we need to fight against your lies. So send me to my
What
DM.
context? What
Yeah,
context?
like the settlers are killing Palestinians. Seriously, send me to my
There's
DM.
literally videos of it, Moira.
Before
So
October
she's just
7th.
denied the fact that there's Israeli state-sponsored terrorism against West Bank settlers, against people in the West Bank by settlers.
No one
She's
denies it
denying
except for
even what the
her.
US
It's
government has
crazy.
said is happening.
Literally
She's absolutely
200
batshit
West
crazy.
Bank Palestinians died before October 7th, just in the West
Yeah,
Bank
okay.
alone.
Let's meet
Another 200 in
Nelson,
Gaza.
may I
Oh
speak?
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna
Nelson,
post you this
Nelson,
two-year-old,
may
this
I
two-year-old
speak?
boy. Hang on,
Because
you
they are
put
lying
no.
all the
I'll say it
time.
first. It's very
One
quickly.
second.
I'm gonna put evidence for you
Second.
because you asked for evidence. I'm gonna put it in the jumbo.
Let me get in here real quick. Let me get in here. Mariah, just to clear this up a little bit, are you saying that there is no crime being committed by Israeli settlers in the West Bank? Is that what you're saying?
No, they're coming here and saying that our soldiers arresting children when they didn't do anything. Like this 13 years old that came to with a knife to kill people in Jerusalem. Yes, he's a child. He's 13 years old. And yes, we arrested him because he's trying
You
to
shot
kill
a
us.
2-year-old.
And when we are arresting kids that are throwing stone against us as a civilians in the West Bank, yes, we are going to arrest them, because you know how many people died from this stone? A lot. And when you are talking about children, do you know the story about Shalhevet? She was just sitting in a stroller, and they just shoot her. So please don't come here with your propaganda and saying
So
about what the
Biden said
soldiers
that the IDF was assisting terrorist attacks in the West Bank. True or false? Are you
because of
calling them a
people
liar?
like you that saying lies, and then
Biden
everybody
and
believe in
Blinken.
Okay,
her.
I just posted that they shot a
Lies.
2-year-old. I put it in the jumbotron. Everybody, look at how this Moira person is an ignorant liar, and how in before October 7, the IDF literally shot a 2-year-old Palestinian in the head. His name is Mohammed Tamimi, and he's from a very well-known family that protests all the time. So it was deliberate. Okay, thank you very
Protest all
much.
the time. They are a terrorist family. What are
Yeah,
you
so you
talking
shot it.
about?
So you admit it. You shot their 2-year-old in the head because you think the whole family's a terrorist for
Yeah,
protesting.
and
Thank you very much. You're a
no,
liar and a
I'm
terrorist
not.
and a racist and a
No, I'm
huge
not. I'm
liar.
not. It's okay. Send me the source before you are coming here and saying lies about the
Check it out.
IDF,
It's
please.
in the jumbotron. Everybody check it out. Everybody check out how Moria is a fool and a liar and ignorant.
God damn.
Guys, I'm sorry, I gotta go, but I appreciate you guys. Real quick, I just want to say thank you guys for having me. I'm sorry, but I have to go.
I really also gotta go. Sorry.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, bro.
I put in.
Have a good night, guys.
I'm down. Let's go to M real quick.
There's a boy that was burnt alive that Mariah denies by
The
the.
go. You don't listen. Go to the go. M, jump in, brother. Let's talk about it.
Oh, simply put, terror apologists. That's it. That's what it's all about. We
Yeah,
will
that's what you are.
conduct. Thank you. We will carry out terrorist attacks against you, and then we'll engage in a political campaign to force you to yield, and we'll tie your hands behind your back, and you're not supposed to respond, and you're not supposed to do anything. And if you dare do anything, then we will try to nitpick whatever mistakes you do and try to amplify them and try to use them against you and try to build public opinion against you so that we can achieve political concessions and achieve our political objectives. Fine, let the best man win.
Yeah, just
Only
call
one
you
of us wants
racist
to
all day.
imprison and arrest everyone who disagrees with them.
Only one of us will win this. The other one will be a loser.
And this is why they want a one big state with us, because we are killing them, right? They are begging us to have
Well,
one state
apparently you're not.
solution. Why do
Apparently
you
the IDF
want?
kill no one.
Why the Palestinian wants to have one state solution?
Apparently
Why?
the IDF don't kill
Why?
anyone, according to this
No,
nut job.
because they wish to live together with us. That's why. And
Okay.
this is what you are
Nelson,
not saying to everybody.
Nelson,
do you
I have to bounce.
Do you
So
have
thank you
turn?
so much for everything.
Em, I appreciate you, brother. Let me ask this question real quick, right? So I've heard this a few times.
I had a bunch of questions.
Hey, bro, meet the appreciate you. All right. So I heard this a few times, a few people on stage saying that the Palestinians themselves want a one-state solution. I want us to get down to the bottom of this right now, because what I've heard is most Palestinians want peace by way of a two-state solution, right? That's what I heard. Rasha, could you clear that up for me real quick? Let's talk about it.
Excuse me, could you please repeat the question again?
Okay, so what I've heard is most Palestinians want a two-state solution, but a bunch of times in these spaces, people jump in and say Palestinians want a one-state solution. What is it that Palestinians actually want?
To be honest with you, most of Palestinians right now feel, I want to tell the truth. I mean, to be honest with you, I love the both party, like whether Palestinian and Israelis, I want them to live peacefully. I want to mention that before October 7, injustice happened to the Palestinian long time ago in 1948 when the 242 Security Council didn't been applied. And that one, to be honest with you, when the Security Council 242 didn't been applied, which has, I mentioned it to you and I sent it to you in couple of websites, that one when the land's been occupied by Israel and they didn't return it back to the Palestinian, then we have Clinton. Clinton did it, Oslo settlement and etc., which didn't been applied because even Hamas attacked Fatah and also Rabin was been killed. So Clinton that time give the Palestinian people a very big deal, and you are real estate and you are broker, Nielsen and Jonathan. So you know exactly if you missed the deal, you missed it. So back in that time, they missed the Palestinian missed that deal. But I want to tell, I agree with some ladies here on the stage, with they are pro-Palestinian. A lot of injustice happened to Palestinians, to be honest with you, and there is a lot of violation and crimes, and this is no one. I remember when I was 10 years old in Syria, I remember seeing on the TV, a lot of Palestinian people have been killed. So no one can, say like, hey, that they didn't been killed. And also, I do believe that because of the injustice and this year by year when it's happened, they start with believing in violence, so they start attacking the Israeli, bombing in their bases and do terrorist, attack and etc. And they start Hamas as he mentioned it. It start established. So and then now, if you go to Hamas, I just sent it even to the one of your comments, Nielsen. Hamas, the Article 2, the foundation of it, it's Muslim Brotherhood. So, it sucks, really. It's Islamic radical. And what's happened right now, Hamas control everything. They already, intimidate their own people. Even Palestinian people, they don't have, right even to speak. And if they didn't speak whatever Hamas they want, then they will be killed. So now I do think, let me get to my point. I don't want to be that much, make it tall, because I waited so much. And I'm telling you, two-state solution is the best deal for Palestinians. One-state solution, I totally agree with Jonathan. I totally agree with Nelson and with the attorney Tria, because for couples of reasons, the public people, they don't have experience. When you have any Security Council or ruling in the court, you cannot revoke it. Period. I mean, for legal matter, for ideology matter, for culture matter, for privacy matter, you cannot. Jewish people they are not like Arab, and period. Arab people right now in Palestine, they want, for example, to do revenge. They want to kill. They want to bomb. And we need a couple of years, maybe 6 years, until they have peace in themselves to understand that the two-state solution. And I totally agree with Yusuf, the Palestine guy, when he spoke about it. The Palestine guy, Yusuf,
I'm so glad you agree with us, though. You know that?
No, you are smart, guys. Seriously,
yeah.
Smart.
Oh, see, damn, that's what I'm talking about. You said that. Say that again for the people that didn't hear, man.
No, Jonathan, you were very smart. And by the way,
another one.
Get the fuck out of here, Jonathan, with his dumb ass. Go to the fuck.
What to the fucking another one.
All right. Okay, so let me.
No. Fuck out of here, Rasha. Jonathan ain't smart. What?
Okay, let me keep going.
Yeah, thank you, Rasha. You know the smart ones when you see it. Appreciate you.
No,
Nelson's upset because you didn't call him smart.
The fuck out of here, bro.
No,
Oh, Hayata, who's that? Whose is that baby? Is that real?
That baby man crying because he got torn up.
And anyways, I want to keep going. America, I'm a Syrian American, but United States always back up Israel, whether Israel is right or wrong. It doesn't matter. So we have a veto game in Security Council. It's the same exactly like Russia when they support Assad and Iran. They whenever United States doing any ruling against Assad, they do the Russian backup. So it's veto game from 5 countries in Security Council. So it will never ever been solved. But the Palestinian, if they take the best deal, which destroy Hamas, kick out of approve that Hamas is not any longer represent them, and they will take the two-state solution, they will also can hire an army of attorney, international lawyers to go back to transition justice law, and that's it. This is what they can do, the best deal for them.
Sorry,
Otherwise,
Russia, I have
they
to
will
disagree
keep.
with you about something.
Yeah,
In
go
South
ahead,
Africa, we
Habiba,
had a
please.
truth and reconciliation process where people renounced violence. And to suggest that Hamas, like the PLO, can't renounce violence at some point is completely inaccurate. Don't listen to what you hear. If people are given a political solution, they will adopt it. You can't exclude people based on the future. They will and they can, and it's for them for
No,
Palestinians
I
to
just,
decide and reconfigure
Habiba,
how they're going to be governed. It's not for anyone else to decide that,
Habiba,
right?
let
So
me
if
tell
they
you
want to come
something.
up to a peaceful resolution, as the PLO did, right? So they renounced violence, they renounced suicide bombing, they renounced attacks. If they can do it,
Let
there's
me,
no reason that Hamas can't.
Yeah, it's
okay,
really
let
difficult
me
to hear a
respond.
Syrian speak
Let
for
me respond.
Palestinians. Excuse
Truce,
me,
please,
you're not
I
even
heard you.
Palestinian. You're
Please,
not Palestinian.
my
You
turn,
shouldn't
my
be
turn.
speaking. You shouldn't be
Excuse
speaking for
me,
Palestinians.
Nelson,
As a
are you
Syrian, you
going to
should
do
not be
that?
speaking for
He is
Palestinians. You have
intimate.
a
I'm
country.
not talking about Palestinian. I'm talking
So then,
about
why
my
are you telling us
opinion.
that we should get a
I have,
two-state solution?
because let me tell you something, because I have a lot of my cousins, a lot of my friends, they are Palestinian, they want two-state solution. You are guys making things difficult. You support Hamas, the terrorist
I don't
group. We
support
know
anything.
exactly.
Listen, I
Truth.
never.
You do
Nelson
not.
asked
Please,
her. Truth.
please,
Nelson asked her
Well, one mic,
what
guys.
she
One mic.
thinks.
please,
One mic, guys. We're gonna do one mic. No, let's do one mic.
please. I waited
You know,
so much.
one second,
Please, I wanna.
man. Hold on. I'm gonna give you 15 seconds, and then after 15 seconds, I'm gonna shoot you down like this. 15 seconds. Let's land this thing.
All right, two-state solution is the best deal. Hamas should be destroyed and kicked out. Then the Palestinian people, they can keep going out. And also there is the ideology of killing and human rights should be teaching both of them. Jewish people can't afford live with Israeli people, can't live peacefully with Hamas, period. And other issues also. When we talk about Hamas, we're talking about Iran, IRGC, because Hamas has been funded by Iran, $350,000 yearly just for building tunnel and etc. If Hamas used this money to build education and
Is
to build
15 seconds
health,
up? I think it's up, Nelson. Bow. See you
Russia,
later.
I
Time to
disagree
go.
excuse
with the
me,
IRGC, but can I ask you a
One
question?
second.
Okay, Jonathan,
So
can I speak, Jonathan?
Can I ask you a question?
this is
good.
fact.
Okay, Jonathan,
I'm
on
talking
this,
about fact.
Yeah, you
No,
know,
I have one question
I
for
want
Russia.
one second. I want Truth to speak. Truth had his hands up because I want to hear Truth's bullshit. Truth come in here and he just lie without conscience and shit. He just says what the fuck he want to say. So I want Truth come in not to speak the truth. Go ahead, Truth.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you do the ad hominem attacks, personal attacks, but that's fine. My father
I
is
don't
from
even know what the fuck that mean, man. My public school education didn't prepare me for that shit. Ad hominem. But go ahead.
All right. Okay. All right. So for me, it's very simple. One state solution. If Jews anywhere in the world can return back to the promised land after 2,000-year absence, so can Palestinians after a proven 75-year absence. Are you going to interrupt me when I'm speaking, or you're going to let me speak, Jonathan?
What are you talking about? Go ahead, bro.
Someone just coughed. Please chill.
He doesn't have to unmic to cough. All right. So if Palestinians can return after, if Jews can come back after 2,000 years of a magical mythical absence, so can Palestinians after a proven 75-year absence. If there's so that it's really simple. There are Palestinian refugees all over the world. There are 3 generations of Palestinian refugees living in refugee camps, living in the West, living all over the world, and they have every right to come back to their house. My father was born in Palestine.
What's their house?
In Jaffa, Palestine, in the original house that was stolen from them in 1948.
Israel. Are you talking about Israel?
whatever, call it whatever you want to call it. You know, I don't care what you call it, but I do want to return back to the original house that was stolen from my family in 1948.
I mean, bro, 1948 built, dude. I'm a builder, bro. I mean, shit, that
Well, they
motherfucker
can come back after 2,000 years, Jonathan. Jonathan, they get to come back after 2,000
title
years.
insurance. Did they have title insurance on that land or some shit, man? Because 1948,
People
that
still
shit.
have
Well,
the
they come
titles to
back
their
after
houses,
2,000
Nelson.
years. How ridiculous is that? They came
People
back
still
after
have the titles
2,000
to their
years, bro.
houses.
Yeah.
No, but here's what I'm trying to tell you, right? I mean, a house built in 1948. Just do the math real quick, right?
They still have the houses. They still have the deeds.
Nelson, I have the keys. I actually have the keys.
The keys to what? The house is probably not even standing right now. They probably demolished.
Nelson, I have
It's
the
not just
key.
1948, right? It's even land that's been appropriated recently. But I have a question for Russia, because she
think,
says that we have to eradicate all of Hamas.
Calm down. I'm just saying that I think we should use the right terminology, right? Because again, a house
Nelson, they came back after 2,000 years, bro.
I have a
Nelson,
key of my grandpa and my grandma in Yemen.
you should go
So
back.
what?
You should go
Yeah,
back,
of
brother.
course. I can go
I'm
back to
all for it.
Yemen. I can go back to
I would be
Yemen.
happy for
There's
you to
a
go back
whole
to Yemen.
movement of
I would
people
be
who still
more than
have.
happy.
Okay, come on, seriously. You
I
know,
would be happy for you to go back to
during
Yemen. Honestly,
Everybody mute out real quick.
I would endorse that, right?
Mute your mics. Mute your mics. Let's get one mic on truth to finish. Guys, if you want to speak and you're on stage, do the hand thingy. Raise your hand, please. Thank you. Truth, finish up real quick. But
Nelson, let me ask you something, brother.
That house is gone.
If I came to your house and I said, excuse me, I have a book. My religious book says that my people were there 2,000 years ago, and I come with the police department behind me. What would you look at me? You'd look at me like if I was crazy, right? But if the UN, that's literally what happened, though. That's literally what happened, right? I mean, these people came to my grandfather's house and they intimidated him to leaving.
Bro. Look at the stage right. Look at the audience right now, bro. You got a bunch of people that are putting their thumbs down, right? It seems like, you know what I'm noticing in regards to this.
I don't care if they're putting their thumbs down. I'm a principled guy. If Jews can come back after 2,000 years, my people can come back after 75 years of absence.
The Ashkenazis, bro, they lived there the whole time.
You don't even need to go far as back as 1948. Every single day, they're demolishing homes and appropriating land. Right, they're theft, they're stealing land, and properties across the West Bank, across the whole of Israel. Every single day, they're stealing land and they're claiming it's their own. In fact, even right now, today, they're trying to steal the Armenian Quarter in Jerusalem. Right now,
no,
right?
But
this is not a myth.
You know what I would respond to that with? You do have some criminal motherfuckers in the West Bank, though, for sure.
Wait a second, Nelson. Let me push back on that right now.
Let me finish real quick. No, I'm not talking about Palestinians. I'm like, you do have some criminal settlers. Maybe that's the right term. You got some,
but I'm talking about state-sponsored appropriation.
I don't know if it's state-sponsored. I'm not sure if it is. I'm not going to speak on something I don't know. But again, last week, Joe Biden and Blinken came out to say that we, as a country, we're going to be issuing sanctions on a number of Israeli settlers in the West Bank. So you do have some settlers who are doing some really fucked up things out there in the West Bank. So that point I can agree with, because it's been made known to the world by the United States. Right. So I'm absolutely with that part. But let me go to Mama H real quick. Mama, please jump in. Let's talk about it. Mama H.
Sorry, you said that we can speak up, and I'm kind of in shock. I don't even know where to start. Let me go back to truth for a second here. It's profound to me what you're saying, that you want to go back 75 years, you still have the keys. I look at, different cultures and civilizations, African American, Native, so many different things. And I think they have a similar story. And my heart definitely breaks for your family. For yourself, you want to go back, be able to visit, have that home. And I'm wondering what we all can do, because I think we've got to start solving that. But at the same time, part of solving it, and I'm not saying you have to do this, so this isn't me pushing out, but it's just kind of like, how do we let go of some of that?
By getting my house back.
Yeah,
it's simple, right? If I get my house back,
we've all
then
lost.
It's fine.
We've all lost.
Miss, I'm actually, you know what's funny is
I'm not. Go ahead.
She basically said you ain't getting that goddamn house back anytime.
Well, we'll see about that.
When the boers in
time will tell.
When the Boers in South Africa took my grandfather's land, they took 3 tranches of land. They stole it. And it took maybe 30, 40, 50 years. And we got the land back. Mandela, one of the first acts, when they got back into power, they gave our land back. Just because people have stolen it, I don't believe that you have to rule out reparations. I don't believe that you don't get your land back. And the thing is, it's not historic. Like I said, it's every single freaking day. And when I said it's state-sponsored, it is literally state-sponsored. So in terms of things like the West Bank, the IDF accompanied the settlers who were stealing, shooting and pillaging and the pogroms, right? The videos of the IDF soldiers accompanying these settlers, which is why that when Blinken and Biden warned against it, they said, oh, the IDF shouldn't get involved. The problem is that there's the extremist party, right? Because it's basically Smotrich, the far right minister in government right now, who is overseeing this. He's been handing out assault rifles that he gives settlers, and they go 10,000 rifles they took recently, assault rifles, and they go and force people out. And in places like Jerusalem, again, you can look at it right now, Armenian Quarter, Jerusalem, and look at appropriation. Just Google that. Okay, you'll see it happening every single day. Like I said, if the South African government could reclaim my grandfather's land, he had land throughout the Bukap. We didn't live there, but we lived in a separate area of South Africa, and all our land was returned. Everyone who has had their land stolen from them by racist regimes should be able to and entitled to get it back, especially when it's done to benefit people who are profiteering off of others' misery and that kind of thing. And again, there's no
You're not going
limitation
to get a
on
challenge from
justice.
me against that, Habiba. You're not. That's why I was saying it's really hard. It's like a struggle. I meant more for the pain of the person letting it go. I think in term, I don't have an issue with reparations. I really don't. I do believe in that aspect of it, but I also can't stand for the notion of either one not having a homeland. Right? So the idea of Israel and Jews not having a home, can't stand for it. The idea of Palestinians, and this whole one state, it doesn't make sense to me.
But what
What's
you'll hear
wrong
is
with
all of the
equal
Palestinians are
rights?
recognizing, all of the Palestinians recognize Israelis' humanity and the Jewish right to live there. They're not calling for displacement.
Truth did not recognize that, did he?
Hold on, they're not calling for their displacement. When you speak
No,
to
wait,
Faraz,
wait.
when you speak to every
Truth
single one,
basically said, I can't even call it Israel. He wouldn't even
I didn't
name
say
it.
that. I
Truth said
didn't
it
say
didn't
that. I
matter
You
what
never
you
said,
called
said
it.
no, 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 no.
I
So what
never
do you
said that.
call
I
it?
never
What
said
do
that,
you
Miss.
call it, Truth?
I
I
don't
said
care
I
whether or not
don't
you
care
call it
what you
Israel or
call it. I said
Palestine.
I don't
What do
care
you
what you call
call
it.
it, Truth? I'm
Kingdom
asking you a
come, whatever you
question.
want to call it.
You
Call it
tell
whatever
me
you
what
call
you
it.
call it.
Well, one
Call it
second.
any call it whatever
Lies.
you
She
want to
asked you a
call it.
question. Lies. What do you call it? Lies.
Tell me what you call it.
You call it a terrorist state,
No,
Tara. Now
Truth.
shut up.
I'm
That's
asking Truth a
because that's not
question.
you
Stop.
The
misunderstood him.
apartheid
Shut
state,
I'm
up.
Tara.
One mic,
asking
guys.
Truth a question he's
One mic,
not
guys.
answered.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. We can't be talking over each other like
Jonathan,
that.
I can't handle when people misconstrued what something was said. So grow up, listen to him, and don't accuse him of something that he did not say. He actually said, I don't care what you call it, semantics. Right, Tira?
No, I'm asking
Now
him a
be
question.
quiet
You're
and
not
let him
listening.
speak. No,
I am
you're not
asking
listening.
him the
Enough.
question directly
Enough.
now.
I'm
Will
literally
he
trying to
answer?
answer your question, Miss. I'm
What's
trying
the
to answer your
answer?
question. I don't care. The answer is I literally
What
don't care. I
is
want
the
my house
state of
back.
Israel,
I
that land?
literally
What do
told
you
you.
call it?
I don't, Miss. Do you speak English? I told you I don't care what you fucking call it.
I'm
Call
Yeah,
it.
asking you
why you have
what
to
do
curse
you
at the
call
lady
it?
like that,
Call it
bro?
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Give me my house back.
1 second.
I want
One mic.
my house back.
Truth. Why do you have to? Why do you have to curse at the woman like that, and then you get mad when
Because
someone
I
calls your
answered
ass
your
out?
question 5
I know,
times,
but you're
sir.
weak as fuck though.
I
You
got
curse at a lady. You
frustrated.
curse
I
at the
got
women, but you get
frustrated.
mad when men
I
come at you.
apologize for cursing at the lady. I apologize for cursing. I
Yeah.
didn't curse at her. I was frustrated because I'm answering her
Tara,
question
Tara, that
like
piece of
5
shit
times.
apologized to you.
So
Okay.
no, 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 no.
I'm
I don't
trying
care
to
about
answer
the
her 5
apology
times.
or even the cursing. What is obvious to me is that this is a person who is basically saying, I want my land back, which sort of
Oh
means
my God.
that Israel's going to have to disappear. And he's
So that's
refusing to
exactly what
even
white South
name it.
Africans said, right? They said,
Habiba,
no, but we'll
stop.
be
Habiba,
erased.
I'm talking. He's refusing to even name the land as
You're
Israel.
just
He's
talking
saying,
lots of
I don't
bullshit.
care. He's
Call it
refusing
Israel.
to do
Fellas.
that. What does that mean in terms of what he's saying? Because you said no one on this stage is denying Israel, etc. That is basically not true unless he tells me he believes it's the land of Israel and they have a right to survive.
You don't have a right to claim it just for Jews. That's the
I'm
point.
asking for Truth to respond, and he did not respond.
I say that one man, one vote. I'm returned back to my land, we should have a vote, and we can make a decision. We can have a real democracy. Make Israel a democracy again. That would be amazing. It would be the only democracy in the Middle East. That would be a wonderful thing. instead of being an apartheid state.
Okay, can I
Yeah, I
speak,
mean,
Jonathan?
exactly. There's the white South Africans claiming the same thing. They
Okay,
said, "Oh,
Jonathan,
One,
can
if
I
you
one,
be
one
can I
second,
say
guys.
something?
eradicated,
One
there'll be
second. I
white
want to
flight."
one
All
mic,
this
guys. I want to
bullshit.
go to free. I want to go to
Yeah,
Afzel because
okay.
Afzel's been waiting. Let's go, Afzel.
Yeah, Jonathan. Okay, on this one state, two state, to be very honest with you, Jonathan, since October 7, I have started paying very, very close attention to this issue, obviously, spending so many hours in all these spaces. One thing I have learned so far, very honestly, I'm sure I'm going to make tonight more enemies than friends, but I have to speak the truth, whatever it is, whatever my understanding is. Jonathan, there are two groups of people among Palestinians. One is those who are living overseas, not having that connection with the land, which the now residents of that place are. Those who living in Palestine, I mean West Bank and Gaza. Those who I have heard speaking in spaces, or I have read their social media views. Okay, now those living in West Bank and Gaza, they, in my opinion, they are for two-state solution. Those living outside, like myself, I'm a Pakistani, I'm not a Palestinian or Arab, right? Those of us supporting Palestinian cause are adding fuel to the fire, just like many other people are. By supporting Palestinians' right to, can you hear me, Jonathan?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, continue.
Okay. Now, so we are essentially, when we support Palestinians in this manner, a one-state solution, what we are telling Palestinians is that you keep fighting with a force which you cannot defeat militarily, getting killed, and keep getting displaced by giving up more land in the hands of settlers. Face this destabilization of your futures for the next 50 years or 100 years. Practically, it's impossible to defeat what they're up against, seeing the ground realities. Any person having a little bit of common sense would come to a conclusion of a two-state solution. And a two-state solution means that West Bank and Gaza. Okay, truth, obviously, you don't agree with me, but that's my understanding. If you do not come to this understanding, I'm speaking with Palestinians, what I have seen, what my observation, what my analysis so far is, they will not have a West Bank and they will not have a Gaza. This is my understanding. They would be pushed somewhere else, whether it's Jordan, whether it's Egypt, or no matter what it is. That is what I see. And I think those who are friends of Palestinians, we should not be igniting them and encouraging them to a perpetual, condition of this despair and destruction and limbo. I think we would not be helping them to have a better future. That is my honest opinion. And everybody in this space and everyone else knows I'm a very hardcore guy. I stand with Palestinians' right to self-determination. But that right to self-determination should not be that right to their annihilation. If I do not recognize that nobody is going to defeat Israel in the next 50 years. Nobody is going to defeat United States and the Western Europe in the next 50 years. And if people do not realize what the ground realities of this day are, they are really not being their friends. They are rather adding to their destruction. And this is very sad. This is very sad. And there are Palestinians, Nelson, Jonathan, they who are satisfied and agree that they are ready for a two-state solution. Now, the problem is there. If you study even the two-state solution, Zone A, Zone B, and Zone C, like Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, that is such a dire situation. When you look at the Zone 3, what the conditions are laid out, if Israel does not agree to give them sovereignty over Zone 3 and Zone 2, that will be such a disaster. They will not even have a two-state solution because they are not even giving them the entire West Bank. So if Palestinians are now smart enough and utilize the clout, whatever they have of their fellow Arab friends and brethren, if they don't use their allies right now to pressure Israel to give up entire pre-67 borders of West Bank and Gaza and give them a side-by-side sovereign state, I think that is a pragmatic, that is practical, that is the best solution for Palestinians. under these circumstances. So we can then keep on doing rhetoric and stand with Palestinians and have from sea to the shining sea and etc. and getting them killed. I mean, that is not being ally or friend to a people that you are exposing to death and destruction. Thank you.
Man, real quick, that is probably the smartest shit I've ever heard Afzal say on any one of these stages.
Where's the calendar? Put it in.
Man, we gotta
It's recorded. It's recorded.
You know, Afzal, you know what? I officially, remove the crown of dumbass of the year from your head, my brother. You've been absolved. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm very disappointed.
I just might hand that motherfucker the truth. But
Nelson, can I be honest? We've been working on him. We've been having conversations, and we're making headway. If we can get Afzal, maybe we can even get Truth and forget it. That's too much.
Man, don't say we. No, I'm not a part of your gang, bro. I don't know about
Hey, it's just the truth. Just the truth.
I'm Nelson. God damn it. Okay. All right. Let me go to Truth real quick. Truth.
Nelson Steen.
What's up, Truth?
So this is what I believe. I believe that the fact that Israel continues to cost the United States tons of money, and it's going to become less and less popular every single year. And I think that America is going to eventually withdraw support from Israel. And if America withdraws support from Israel, let's be honest, Israel will be in a weaker position, and they'll have to accept us back into our own country. I mean, I don't see why I'm being unreasonable. The right of the Palestinians to return is irrefutable. Human Rights Watch is a pretty conservative organization. And before they endorsed the right of return for the Palestinians, they hired a law firm to look into it. And this law firm came to the conclusion that the right of return for the Palestinians is irrefutable. So sooner or later, you're going to have to live with us, Yehuda. Just like you live with us in Canada, you're going to be able to live with us in whatever it is. We're going to have to live together. Just like you can live with us in the U.S., there are Palestinians that live in New York. There are Palestinians that live with you guys in Beverly Hills, in L.A., all over the country, and we get along fine. And it's not a big deal because we have equal rights.
Hey, Truth.
If we have equal rights, we can be fine.
There? Wait, quick question. That law firm that was hired, do you know the law firm, or
I don't know the specific name. No, I don't.
I know the name.
Okay,
Fantasy.
I got advice for you real quick. As a businessman, I love Tira. Okay, shout out to BC. He seems like a good guy too. Don't trust fucking lawyers. Okay, don't trust lawyers. Right? Because they want to milk as much fucking dollars as they can fucking milk. They'll tell you the fucking sun is green if they have to.
It's just
wait, isn't it, Nelson? I thought
it's just not true either. He made that up.
No, he's right. Nelson is right.
That's
Nelson is
anti-Semitic.
right.
Nelson, that's
Human
very
Rights
anti-Semitic.
Watch.
Like,
Nelson,
bro,
I disavow because that's very anti-Semitic.
No, it's not. He's right. He's right. I mean, it's
that's
like
very
that French.
anti-Semitic.
It's like the French lawyer, right?
Wait, you're assuming all lawyers are Jewish, Truth. Isn't that
no, Tira,
just
it's like the
joking.
French
Oh my
lawyer. Look,
gosh,
the French.
relax, lady. I'm just joking.
Tira, the lawyer from France, right? Who's
I'm
soliciting
just
funds.
joking around, please.
It's like the lawyer from France who's soliciting funds to take Netanyahu to the World Court,
Nelson.
although he has no authority to do it, right?
Nelson,
by the way, Tara, they're also Palestinian lawyers.
All right, let's go to Yehuda real quick. Just
right.
wanted to give you that little bit of advice, my brother. Yehuda, jump in.
As long as Nelson will give me the opportunity, every single time there's about 3 or 4 of you speak and you make up a bunch of stories, if he lets me jump in, I will debunk them. It doesn't get tiring for me. I enjoy it because it's so simple. You keep making up this ridiculous story and you keep pushing it that the Jews stole your land and stole your house, blah, blah, blah. We've already demonstrated with simple facts that the early Jewish Zionist movement purchased 800,000 denims of land and settled on it. Every bit of land the Jews lived on in 1948 they owned, including the houses that you say might be yours. Guess what? They probably changed the locks by now. I'm not sure the key is so useful, but it doesn't really matter. They purchased the land. The remainder of the land was granted by the British as crown land that wasn't privately owned. They didn't take your land. You were told a bunch of lies. as a kid, perhaps. It's part of the origin story. Nothing to be ashamed of. But you and others, Habibi, keep talking about colonialism. Israel was accepted
What?
into the
The British
community
didn't
of
colonize anyone? The
what?
Brits didn't colonize
Are
Australia.
you
They didn't
done? Are you
colonize.
done?
Shut
Did you?
up! Are you dumb? Are
Are
you
you
dumb?
done? I
Like, are
said.
you
I didn't say
actually dumb?
dumb.
No, are you dumb? Yeah, but I said, are
Man,
you
man,
dumb?
man, man,
Well, I
man,
am
man, man.
talking to
Let him
you.
finish. Let him finish.
Yeah, I am. I am on a stage with you, so it says something
Jonathan,
about
give us
me.
your slam dunk. Go on. Give
Yeah.
us your little
Okay.
noises. I
So,
love them. Go for it. Come on. You know you want to do it, Jonathan. Go on.
are you?
Shut up! God damn, Yoda, let's go.
Hurry. Let's just finish it up. So the Jews, first of all, they lived in the land before 1948 and before 1880, and in fact, there's a very famous professor once said that as Truth and this HK and Habiba
Yeah, but
and all
no
these,
one's
would you
denying that,
stop
Yehuda. No
talking?
one.
Just
No,
stop. No
sorry,
one
because you're so
cares.
easy to trigger.
So
You're so easy to trigger. I love it.
when the ancestors of these individuals were busy in the desert praying to Al-Uzza, Al-At, and Manat and bearing their daughters, the Jews were worshiping the one true God in Jerusalem. So the Jews come from the land. They're there. It's the Jewish land. And they were kicked
Dude,
out.
no one
And that's
cares what hall they
fine.
were born from. We're not
And
talking.
that's fine. You just can't handle the truth. You just want to jump in there. So the Jews don't come back 2,000 years later, as Mr. Truth Teller or Truth Obfuscator says, and said, "We have it in the Holy Book. It's our land." The Jews said, "Hey, we see that you have our land. Thank you. Can we buy this? Great. We're going to settle a bunch of peasants who are dying all over the world. You didn't have a say in it because we bought it. And now you're pissed off that we made something nice of it." And we're still saying, I'm not even Israel. The Israelis are saying to you, look, the West Bank and Gaza, take it, make a state, be happy, do something with yourself.
Take it, but we're just going to
Unfortunately,
keep
too
building
many of you are on
illegal
the internet
settlements on
talking
there. Keep building.
stories when you should be focusing on how to make a better Palestine. It starts with education. Afzal's right, two-state solution all the way.
If you
If
weren't
you want to live
bombing
in a
us,
fantasy land and talk about South
if you
Africa
weren't
and
bombing us
talk
all the
about
time,
Ireland and blah, 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 you have a perfect example. It's called Israel and Palestine. Make a state work. Stop terror. Don't advocate for violence. Don't advocate for murder. Don't hand out candies
Yehuda,
when
you're
Jews get
literally
chopped up. How's
describing
that?
Israel.
That's how you
Literally
do it. So you
describing
can talk as
Israel.
much as
You're
you want. That's
literally
what I
describing.
lowered the volume. I can't hear you, HK. So what you need to do is stop focusing on me, stop being jealous of Israel, and focus on how to make your side better. If you don't want to
Why would
come
I
to a
want to be
peace
jealous of a
with
state
us
that
or the
accepts pedophiles?
Israeli people, you're not going
Why
to
would I
get peace.
be
You're
jealous?
not coming back. Buddy over there, Truth, I wish you got reparations for your grandfather's house and it gets paid out. But guess what? Israel isn't going anywhere. Afsal, everyone, it's a two-state solution or it's continued conflict. And you guys aren't winning that fight because Israel is the stronger power broker. So let's all work towards a two-state solution. Peace.
You know
Thank
what's
you.
crazy? I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. What's crazy to me is that land was there, and you know, granted, there were some people living there, but no one wanted it. It was fucking arid. It was dry. It was not desolate. It
100%.
was wait, one second, and then all of a sudden, the Jewish people came in and they hooked it up. They put rims on it, and you know they put some you know they put some pinstripes, some rims, and all kinds of shit on it. And now all of a sudden you like that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And now everybody want that. That's mine. That's ours. That's ours. You know, why wasn't it a big fucking fight, you know, before? Now all of a sudden this land is like it's desirable. I mean, Israel really did
Jonathan, I'd
something.
like to answer
The state of Israel really did something with that land. And the Palestinians could have built alongside, okay? But they were so busy looking over to that garden that was being tended over there and wanting
That's
instead
just
of
not
fucking
true.
tending their own
Jonathan, that's
fucking garden, instead of
It
tending
is
their own
true.
fucking garden, they said, "Hey, no, we want your fucking vegetables that you fucking fertilize and all that other shit that you brought, you know, that you fucking went out and brought the fucking resources in to fucking make it, you know, your shit grow." You guys like, no, yeah, we ain't worried about the shit we got here. We want that shit over there. And that's what I see going on right now. You know, it's like all of it's ours. It's ours. You know, you guys, would you guys take it if it was desolate? No, the fuck you wouldn't, because you don't even want your own desolate shit.
What the
So it's
fuck?
just
They're not fighting over the desert.
I'm just saying, you motherfuckers. I'm just trying to tell you, you motherfuckers. It's like, yo, we need, and you're the victim. But here's the deal: when Israel started building this shit up, instead of you guys trying to bomb them and all that. Why didn't you guys build your shit up at the same fucking
They
time?
weren't trying to build; they were terrorizing.
Well, first of all, Jonathan, that's not true. There were 25 newspapers in Palestine prior to 1948. There were schools. There were
Jewish papers.
Literally, if you go to Jerusalem right now, you'll see that there's a pine tree forest. It's a European pine tree forest, and literally that's covering up 13 Palestinian villages that were ethnically cleansed in Palestine. The airport, Ben Gurion Airport, well, right before they came, there was Lid Airport over there. So this is just simply not true. There were
And who
cardinals.
built Lid Airport?
Robust society.
The Jews.
It was a robust society, and this is just a complete typical
Truth. And why is it the New Palestine
trope?
the same?
Anti-Palestinian trope. That's an anti-Palestinian trope. It was not. They did not come and make the desert flower. The desert was already flowering.
Why can't they do the same thing in Palestine right now?
They couldn't. You know what? You want to know something interesting? Jaffa oranges were famous worldwide. In fact, their Jaffa cakes that you see in London shops were from Palestinian. This was from Palestinian oranges. They came and they stole that land. I have a friend that lives in Gaza. Let me finish. I have a friend that lives in Gaza. Had 100-acre, of orange groves. And the Zionists came and stole that land.
The Jews, the
Gaza.
Zionists.
He's now living in Gaza and Beach Camp. Has now been made a refugee for the
you
first
ain't making
time in
no
his
money
life and cannot return back to his house, man.
Let's keep it real, right? You're not making no money selling no goddamn oranges. Okay.
They were making
How
tons
old's your
of money.
friend?
They were a
He's
huge
talking
industry.
about the 1900s, Nelson.
Man, miss me with that orange bullshit, man.
May I say something to end all this?
Nelson, you want to buy some oranges? You want to buy some oranges, Nelson?
$3 million.
The oranges, bro.
You know what, dude? You guys have your echo chamber of Zionist shills.
Bro, you had the
Well,
money.
this is not a fucking echo chamber.
That hurts our feelings when you call us Zionists.
In your fucking feelings and
Right?
shit,
I'm
man.
taking that badge.
Look,
Thank you.
Crazy.
It's really simple. It's really simple. Okay, the reason why the Palestinians are talking about a one-state solution is because they perpetually, in time after time, turned down a two-state solution, thinking a better deal was going to come. There is no better deal.
That's just not
Okay, may I finish,
But
madam?
that's
I didn't,
factually easy.
madam. I didn't interrupt you. Thank you. So at the end of the day, a two-state solution, fine. I was born in Israel. Have no problem with that. In order to create a one-state solution, you would need the state of Israel to agree to a one-state solution. That's not going to happen. Palestinian refugees will never return to the state of Israel. That's just a fact. It's not going to happen.
You guys didn't answer my question though. Why the hell? You guys didn't build at the same time Israel's building. And you guys once it got built up, you're like, yo, that's our shit over there.
Look at Tel Aviv, Nelson. Look at Tel Aviv. Look at Tel Aviv. It's a metropolis. It's like Los Angeles. Of course they want it now. They don't want Sderot or these little cities in the desert. They want Tel Aviv. They want all the built-up cities.
It's always,
of course.
They definitely don't want Eunice, I'll tell you that. But Zahia, I need you to respond to that. Let's get your voice. Jump in.
What about what he just said about Tel Aviv?
Just break it down. Just flow. Just you came on stage very passionate. I want you to let it out. Let me know where you're thinking right now.
I just think that he's trying to run this narrative that Palestinians were uncivilized. They were technologically.
I didn't say that.
Excuse me. And he's saying right now, like, look at Tel Aviv, right? Tel Aviv has always had that beautiful land, like Los Angeles does. It's very beautiful weather. It's next to the Mediterranean Sea, right? So when you mean like they built, like what do you mean? Like they built high rises now in Israel that like Palestinians are incapable of doing, and they're incapable of doing that because they've been under occupation.
So I'll respond to that. I never made that claim. So that's a very nice deflection and way to twist my words. What I said is when you look when people see something that they like, they want it. I mean, that was in no way me passing judgment.
That's exactly what the Zionist terrorists did. They loved Palestine so much that they're like, oh my God, we have to make this our Jewish supremacist state now.
Well, that Jewish supremacist state,
right?
but the Jewish
resources.
That Jewish supremacist state exists. You're going to have to deal with that. I mean, it's just a reality.
No, we actually in 2023, none of us should have to deal with an ideology that is based in hate and racism.
Well, then go write your congressman, run for Congress, and try to change the hearts and minds.
Democracy is just a joke. for real. And that's what the Americans are realizing, is that none of this sounds very democratic to anybody.
Yeah, Americans with Hamas.
One second, brother. Zahir, I want to point something out to you. Yehuda just tweeted this right now. So look at the very top of the space. I just pinned a tweet, and this picture that you see in this tweet is Tel Aviv when it was first built.
Amen.
There is nothing there but desolate land.
And then I did a follow-up picture, Nelson, Tel Aviv today.
Yo, I mean, this is actually really interesting. Everybody in the space, scroll all the way to the top. This is a really interesting picture. Scroll all the way to the top. Click that.
Yeah, but do you know what the Nekba is?
1 second, real quick, because this is I've never seen this before, so it's very interesting. But yeah, go check that out.
Do you know what the Nekba is when they carpet?
Ma'am, respectfully, I mean, people have gone thrown down for less. Just keeping it real with you, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, just take a look at that picture right there. Yehuda, pin the one from today. Pin the tweet Tel Aviv today, because I've never seen this before, and I find this really, really interesting. But yeah.
What year was that picture taken?
I mean, this freaking looks like, I don't even know, early 1900s.
Well, I mean,
you want me?
Well, Dubai did a better job. That's like 40 years.
It was 1909. The picture's from 1909. You can reverse search it and you find all of it, and then you find in there in the next one is what Tel Aviv looks like today. That's what most of it looks like. And if you want to talk about Jaffa, which is about 5 kilometers south, you can see Jaffa in 1909, and it's a very tiny town, dilapidated, really junky. And then you can see Jaffa today, which Israel has built up as well. So in every instance, Israel built up the land.
I'm sorry, you're not going to put a picture of a group of people sitting in a...
It's a very well-known document. You can see it everywhere. The founding of Tel Aviv. It wasn't an Arab city. It wasn't an Arab town. There was nothing there. The Jews moved there because there was nothing there. The landowners of the Arab landowners sold land to the Jews that they weren't using because it was junk. In fact, further off near Hayarkon River, there were malarial swamps. Some of the first anti-malarial medications were created by your Jewish Zionist enemies to stop malaria so they could live there. There's so much you don't know of your own history, and it's very sad. Instead of complaining, maybe look and learn and say, how do we do that? Because if you keep complaining and saying that you've lost everything and you're eternal victims, you'll never get what you want. Because even listening to the room, Jonathan, these guys, they don't know anything. They're not interested. They have no truck in this, and they could see like it's silly. Just consider yourself lucky to be in a position where you still have time. Renounce violence, renounce terror, and say, how do we make it work? Israel, you say you want peace? Let's do it. Let's have a free Palestine in the West Bank and Gaza. Let's use your technology. Help us out. We want to be brothers. Think on the positive side. Stop.
I just don't know how we're going to put up a picture of a group of people standing in a field and be like, look what they did to Jaffa. Look what they did to Jaffa in 1948 when the Jews attacked.
They didn't attack
people's houses. Yeah. And then British planes were used to defend that because Palestine was under British mandate at that time.
House? What was
the
plane doing?
So this picture might have been actually after the Jews kind of carpet bombed the same way that they're doing now, because the Nekba happened in 1948.
What picture? That picture's from
1909.
Carpet
bombed what?
Palestine was insanity to stop.
Your violence and your help to be an advanced
50 years before the Nekba.
It's a bit that you need to get rid of. Okay?
How on earth did they carpet bomb in 1909 with kites or hot air balloons?
Be more specific about this picture. What was the event where these people?
You can Google it at this point.
He told you it was 1909. In 1948. You're showing me a picture of a group of people wearing black in a field. What is this? What is this picture?
What is your problem? You don't believe that this is a picture of Tel Aviv? What's the problem?
Yeah, I need context.
This is not Tel Aviv.
I need to know who these people are. I want to know what's going on.
You can Google it.
So Google it. So Google
it. Oh, look at the people in Tel Aviv before we occupied it through Holocaustic tactics.
This is embarrassing.
What did you just say? What did you just say? What did you just say about the Holocaust? What did you just say?
The Holocaust was a joke compared to what you guys are doing now.
Are you sick in the head? You know what? So hold on. This is why there is no state of Palestine, right? Because there's too many people that have views like that.
Shows that they're killing way more people.
No. Meet your mic.
That is rubbish.
Meet your mic. Respectfully. You don't come up here, saying that type of shit Yeah, listen. Few things we don't fuck with in this space, and I'm going to move you down to the audience, by the way. Right, appreciate you. Never come back here again. Few things we don't fuck with in this space, and I don't give a fuck what side you're on. We don't do religion. There's no Islam hate. There's no Jew hate. None of that bullshit. We don't do race either. There is no white hate, no black hate, nothing. The minute you fuck up and you say some dumb shit, like what she just said, you're gone. Never coming back, period. We joke around in this space a lot. We have fun. You know, it's entertaining. We're whatever. But respectfully, let's not cross certain boundaries, right? Because you're just going to offend a large group of people, and it's not going to go down well for me. You understand what I'm saying? So to every Jew in here, I definitely want to apologize for what you just heard. You know,
No, you don't need to apologize, Nelson. You've always been a gentleman. I understand it's a very contentious topic, but it's sick. And that is the reason why there is no solution right now, right? That's the reason why you're not seeing state of Palestine, because there are too many people that hold views like that. And that's also the reason why there's never going to be a one-state solution, because too many people hold views like that. It's just not going to happen.
Let's definitely go to Dr. Rihanna. Let's talk about it.
Hi there. Well, thanks for giving me a voice for. There's a few things I'd like to say. I am a journalist. I'm a natural doctor, and I'm a goodwill ambassador to Palestine. I've been reporting on Israeli war crimes since 2011. The approach that I have and where I'm coming from is human rights and international law and natural law. So I just want to clarify a few points. And the first is that Palestinians, okay, there's a lot of talk in this room about Israel giving Palestine a state, but in actuality, according to international law, only the Palestinian people can legitimize Israeli statehood. So they are the occupied people, so they have the power to award statehood to Israel if they want to. I don't think they will. That said, Israel is a corporation, and it's expiring in the spring of next year. They cannot register it again as a corporation under the same name. So Israel is about to exist. Now,
What?
One more.
This is not true. I'm a lawyer, and so is Tira, a bunch of lawyers. And what the hell what are you talking about? Register with who? What are you talking about?
Guys, let her land.
Look it up. I'm sure you're good.
Go ahead.
So Hamas and the PA had come to an agreement that was publicized in 2014. They agreed to work together, to cooperate, Hamas was wanted to step down as a governing body in Gaza and just to be a resistance group. The PA was going to come into Gaza and they were going to take over the governance role. So Hamas and Fatah, Hamas and the PA had come to unity. And this is something that would have brought Palestine together. So the Israeli state, in order to sabotage it, launched a war against the Palestinians in besieged Gaza. And that was a genocide, according to the Russell Tribunal on Palestine. Now we are seeing much greater numbers of people killed than in 2014. So it's most definitely a genocide already. And I also want to point out that Sephardim Jews, who are the authentic
Sephardic, not Sephardic.
Okay, so Sephardic Jews they have rejected Zionism. They have rejected it from the beginning.
That's not true. I'm half Sephardic. What are you talking about? I'm half Sephardic. What are you talking about?
I'm Sephardic.
The authentic voice of Judaism, true Torah Jews. They are public.
No, they're not Sephardic. They're not Sephardic. Hold on. They're Ashkenazi. They're a small group of Ashkenazi Jews that came from Europe. There's the Satmar. What are you talking about? They're not Sephardic at all.
There is some, there's some Hasidic.
No, there are no, but you're being
the descent
BZ, guys.
Confusion.
Let her land.
Is the dependency of Abraham. It's a bloodline. Judaism is a bloodline.
No, it's not.
Yes,
what are you talking about? I'm Sephardic Jewish.
Anyone can look that up and research it.
Listen, one second, ma'am. Guys, let her finish and then jump in on a microphone and slam every single point you want to slam. But let her finish. Doctor, go ahead. Unmute your mic. I muted you. Let's go.
Okay, thank you. So moving on to Palestine had, prior to 1948, Palestine had a thriving, rich economy based on agriculture and trade. They had their own international airport license and their own airport called Al-Lod. And Al-Lod was L-O-D, Al-Lod. It was stolen and turned into Ben Gurion Airport. Palestine also had a sophisticated railway system, and they had their own currency. So I also want, so you know, they existed. Now I also want to point out that Palestinians built Israel. I was living in the occupied West Bank, and for almost a year, and I watched as the Palestinians went over, you know, into Israel and did manual labor over there. And they would talk about how they built Israel. They had been doing that for decades. So it wasn't, you know, the things get flipped upside down when there's two narratives, but there is only one truthful narrative. There's hundreds of checkpoints in the West Bank that control the lives of the Palestinian people. There, and then Gaza itself, it has, you know, it's completely besieged. And right now there's no humanitarian aid, no medicine, no food, no water getting into Gaza, except the Israeli state just released something. But for you know, before this so-called ceasefire, there was nothing getting in. Now the Palestinians used to trade with Jordan all the time, but now they were cut off by the Israeli occupation, and the trade stopped. So the biggest crop for Palestinians is the olive oil, and they have no one to trade with anymore. So this is the situation that's happening in Palestine. It's not that the Palestinians don't make themselves. They built Israel. They make themselves. They are the most they can build anything, I can say. You know, they're kind of a jack of all trades, and they're expert farmers. And they get laughed at by the Israelis for this, but they're actually the world's leading experts in farming. And they have the best olive oil in the world because of their special and unique harvesting technologies. So their lives were torn asunder in 1948. They didn't ask for this. They are the victims here, you know, and in Gaza, they're just struggling to have food. They're rationing water. They have to take sips of water. Hopefully now, you know, during this so-called ceasefire, there's, you know, because I think we don't know what's going to happen, but now there is some humanitarian aid getting in, but it's not enough for everyone.
Let me ask you this question: Who do you think is responsible for the suffering of Gazans?
Of course, the Zionists. Palestine. Yeah, it was stolen by.
Come on.
Has the plane landed, Nelson?
Yeah,
Nelson, I got a question for you.
One second, doctor. Let's land in like 10-15 seconds so others can respond to you.
Nelson, I'm coming in hot.
One second, brother. 1 second. Go ahead, ma'am. Just 10-15 seconds. Let's land it. Let's pass the mic.
Well, I mean, I'm good. You know, that's basically what I wanted to say. It's just
okay. Then I'm going to jump in very quickly. No, hold on. I got to run. I got to jump out. You legitimately.
Why do you get the best ones, BZ?
No, I do have to jump out. Nelson, thank you so much for a space. I will finish with this. Literally everything you just said is factually, 90% of what you just said is factually wrong. People can go use Google. First of all, Israel is expiring next year. I would love to know what department it's registered with, because that's major news to me. Secondly, Sephardim being anti-Zionist is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard. It's the Ashkenazim, okay? They usually run Bnei Barak and Mea Sharim. You would know that if you've ever lived anywhere near the state of Israel. The checkpoints, what you said is true. You are correct about that. But it's just, it's lunacy what you're saying. Absolute lunacy. Yeah, go ahead, Yuda.
Yeah,
I need a cigarette. I need a cigarette.
Yeah, I need a drink. Nelson, I don't know where to start, because I don't know if there are like other issues at play here with this individual. I don't want to be mean, but I mean, unless she refers to, like, I don't know if she thinks Israel's like a domain name that you have to re-register every few years. It's very bizarre. Now
It's a
the other,
corporation.
it's not a
It's a
corporation.
dead corpse.
Oh my goodness. And then this idea that the Palestinians give Israel legitimacy. Okay, the United Nations recognized Israel as a state in 1948. Period. Stop. It's a state. It's not going anywhere. And I think the level of discourse here is probably not worth it. Nothing else you said is true. The only railways that were built by the British. There weren't that many. There was 2 main lines. Israel expanded that. When Israel took over the West Bank in 1967, 98% of homes didn't have running water or electricity. They fixed that. Nothing that she said is factually true. I'm not sure this person is a serious person, so I don't want to punch down. I think there's other problems going on, so I don't want to be mean, Nelson. So it's unusual. I just don't think this person knows what she's talking about, and I think there are other reasons for it. So I'll pass it off to someone else, actually.
All right, Nelson. Can I cook a little bit?
Go ahead, bro. Talk about it.
All right. So real quick, Peace King. You always do right by me. I thank you. So listen, guys. I need you guys to do a few things before I speak. Well, just like in your leisure. I need you guys to go in. I need you guys to, when you get a chance, Google propaganda campaign by the Nazi regime. Right? Google that. Get familiar with that. I need you guys to understand something. That corridor is in the Mediterranean Sea. Strategically, militarily, it's advantageous to the United States to have access to that point, right? Okay, because that is the key over in that region to be strategic